Hello and welcome to LockdownEconomy Nepal, a local edition of a social non-profit initiative to help small businesses and self-employed professionals overcome the challenges of the pandemic. In Nepal, it is being done in collaboration with NYEF Kathmandu chapter, a membership-based non-profit organization dedicated to create outstanding entrepreneurs, and AlterContacts, a global think tank for sustainable development based in Amsterdam. My name is Suzan Lal Manandar, host of the interview series, and I'd like to welcome everyone who has joined us for this session. Today, my guest is Mr. Rahul Agrawal, who is the owner of House of Palace. Hello, Rahul ji. How are you?
Hi, Sujin. I'm good, very well. How are you?
I'm well as well, and I'm really excited to have you here. House of Palace is a very unique organization, and I can't wait to get into the lockdown economy discussion with you. But before that, Rahul ji, please tell us about House of Palace.
Thank you so much. But first, let me begin with wishing all of you a very, very happy Tihar, right? It's been a very bumpy ride altogether, but let's hope everything goes ahead very well. So, first, we would like to talk about House of Palettes. So, House of Palettes is a painting studio for you to experience and unravel the essence of arts and crafts with colors. I mean, you don't need to be an artist to pick up a brush and create a magic on a canvas, but all you need is a place, where you can feel at home, meet friends, get some wine maybe or whiskey, and you create a piece of art, a story by yourself. You don't really need to be an artist for sure. We help you make an amazing piece of work just by yourself within few hours. It's just that you need to have a really good what do you call it, smile, or let's say the willingness to do it. And that's about House of Palettes. But also how we work is so we have few steps which we let you through so that and that's how you create a painting. Is first we let you choose what you wish to paint. Like we could give you a lot of picture options, or you could show something from your phone, right? And then we give you an amazing place to sit where you could mingle with your friends and your colors and your canvas. Then we have a local artist, in-house artist, who's going to help you step by step on the process of how to make that painting, like from the background to the foreground to what colors, how to mix colors, and how to sketch the art base. And meanwhile, you just sip wine, whiskey, or probably if it's a kid, it's some juice, and sorry, just mingle with the whole environment, and you create a masterpiece, which also you get to take it home. Like we just don't take it, but you take the masterpiece home and you keep it wherever you want to, and people are just amazed to see that you've done that work. So that's how we run.
And Rahul ji, where are you based?
We are based in Kathmandu, Jamsikil. So there is this restaurant called Evoke. Inside Evoke, we are at a collaboration where we have a painting studio, where we have a restaurant, where we have a salon, and a lot of different Nepali things, where we can mingle with a lot of different variety of things to do.
So, how many artists are you working with in your team right now?
I mean, we have around four artists, in-house artists, and we have a many more artists in case we need them. But four are there like full time.
Perfect. So, we're all kids once, and when we're kids, we look at the world as art, something we can replicate on a piece of paper, and that's really fun. And I feel like there's some inspiration behind House of Palace as well. So, Rahulji, please tell us, what are your aspirations from this business?
Um, I would rather say aspiration or inspiration, or it's an ongoing inspiration every other day or every other time when someone touches a brush. For example, when we were kids, we used to go to school and we used to paint. For sure, there were paint classes for us, art classes, but then we were guided through a very long process of 5 years, 6 years to get something done. But at the end, we forget all of those. Right? When we grow up, we don't really get to paint or use it. We just see kids around, or let's say people, and we just think we cannot do it. Right? So at our pace, when once you come, maybe through an excitement, maybe some friend told you, or some pictures that you saw, you come with a very emotional, or let's say with an emotion where you are not sure if you can do it, right? Well, when you do it, the process goes on for 2 hours, right? When you start, you see their faces, and when they end, you see their faces. All those happy faces which leave the studio with the painting. That's our motivation. That's our inspiration. Making people happy, and that's what we've been doing since last 4 years. Making people. That's our inspiration. That's our aspiration. That we make people happy. We get the children out of them.
That is great, because that message really resonates with me, because when I was a kid, I used to draw a lot, and I do a lot less of that right now. Because when you're a kid, you just grab your colors and your sketch pad and you let your
Yeah.
creativity flow. But when you get older, you start getting more conscious. And I feel House of Palettes is a good place for people who are still interested in art. Like you said, you provide professional guidance as well. And with that, they can come up with something really beautiful in the canvas. So Rahulji, like you said, you have been in the market for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
Before this whole corona situation, the lockdown, how was your business performing?
So since last 3 years, every year we see for sure some growth. First year, it was really difficult for us to explain people that you can really do it, right? We will make you do it. We'll help you do it. First year went pretty rough, but pretty good. Then second year, we were growing a lot. Third year, we grew a lot. Like we just didn't expect a lot of expats, but also a lot of locals. Along with that, we started with a lot of events. For example, we had Pratana from House of Palace. We celebrated 2 years anniversary at House of Palace. We got all of their employees. For as such, we did a lot of events. We started getting a lot of events, not just individual customers, but a lot of events from a lot of companies where we let all of their employees mingle with paint colors and create something worthwhile rather than just a drink at a restaurant as a party, right? So we are trying to grow every year. Then again, we also hoped getting into tourism year 2020. So that's what 3 years has been like amazing, amazing, amazing 3 years of our paint life at the House of Palace.
And then, of course, enter 2020, and then the world goes into this pandemic. We're in this lockdown, and you are in an industry where customers actually have to come to you and consume the service. So what did you do on the business front? What kind of problems did you face during the lockdown?
That was a pretty rough 3 months because 3 months where we had to shut down. We couldn't do much for sure. We had to completely shut down. A few people did call us, a lot of our customers did call us that how can we do it or what can we do? So we thought of doing it online, but again, people didn't have materials at their home. They didn't have paints, they didn't have canvas, or they didn't have art brushes, to perform all those things. That was a very bumpy time for us to even provide services online. And we had to completely shut down 3 months. We couldn't do back end, front end, or anything like those because for us, there is not much of a back end. We provide services and services that to first end experience of art. So 3 months we were completely closed down on the first lockdown. Second, and between we again started, but we didn't have much of a flow. And on the second lockdown, we were again shut. We had to be shut because we come in point of contact with people, and with corona cases going around, we couldn't be open for sure because again, the movement was not allowed in town. But also some things that we did, let's say, very small things we did was we posted a lot of pictures on Instagram or Facebook, a lot of undone artworks, or lots of not so amazing pieces, like not the perfect of the paintings that people have done at House of Ballet, so that people get inspired. A lot of artworks that you could do at home. People who had colors and canvases at home, we send them video tutorials, and we posted a lot of video tutorials to pictures that they get some inspiration in their life. That everything is not perfect. We didn't have a lot of perfect posts at those times. We had a lot of broken but connected pieces, so that people get inspired. Yes, even if things are not perfect, it's fine. It looks good. That's what we tried to do, but it was a very bumpy road or drive this last 4 to 5 months.
So, did you try to add services during the pandemic to your business?
Yes, yes. Unlike others, we couldn't do much. As I told you, we have experiential based services, but we also did a few worked for interiors of people's places, right? So first we didn't really do a lot of projects for people. We wanted people to paint their own canvas. We'll help you out, but during lockdown, as money would flow in for sure, we did some of the assignments where we took picture ideas from people and we had our artists do those and we sold them to our customers. That was an added service we did.
Mm.
Well, it's not much, let's say, we didn't have a lot of orders then, but we expect more in the coming fund. But again, that was a very little addition to our services, which we are not really happy about, but because we want people to actually do it by themselves.
Ralji, so do you have any competition in this business?
As of now, we don't have any, but if we have few, we would love to work with them. I mean, for
Uh,
me, I run with the notion that if we have competition, we grow the market. So I think competition is healthy. We wish people to come up with the same concept or let's say similar concepts or and if possible collaborate.
Yeah, that's a very good thinking because competition can really help to bring out the best in you as well. So, in Nepal, the lockdown was very difficult. Like it was difficult all over the world, of course. In Nepal, we had two lockdowns. So, how do you think things could have been done differently so that startups and businesses could have had a little bit easy on them?
I mean, this is pandemic time. I don't know if things, because what I would think could not be very thoughtful for someone else, right? So a lot of things could have had been done, but I don't wish to point all of them. But one thing for sure is if we are running through home deliveries with just essential stuff, probably a lot of things could be delivered. For example, in our case, if our paint brushes, canvases, and colors could have had been delivered to our clients, we could have had some online tutorials for people, right? So not just completely shutting down. And I understand that physical contact was a difficult point then, but if we had few things being delivered at home, I thought if a lot of things could have had been delivered either way. So that could be an amazing thing for not just for us, but for a lot of businesses because it applies to a lot of products and services.
Great. So now the lockdown has been eased in Nepal. Still, of course, a few services like hotels and schools are not
Yeah.
open. But how is your business performing in this situation?
I mean, so before we used to get around 200 to 300 customers minimum a month, then we have fallen down to 150 customers a month, and we don't really have events because again, a lot of companies don't have that kind of budget at the moment. So we are struggling. We are struggling, but again, we are also happy to get a few more orders for interiors and projects. So there is a little shift in the way we've been working, but it's not been an amazing uh, sales right now also, but we also expect because we've now added services with us. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, so I think right now the situation in Nepal is that we're going to stay open, and you have also added services to your business portfolio. So, what is the outlook for House of Palace for the next 3 months?
We wish, let's say, if we say outlook, I think few more collaboration with a lot of artists. If we have more artists on board, we can provide such kind of portfolio to our people that okay, this is the kind of work we can give you for your interiors or for your projects. So if that can be done, it would be lovely because at the moment, if I expect for people to come at studio and paint, that would not be the best expectation because again, at the end of the day, we are having a point of contact. But if we expect few more orders in terms of projects and interiors, that would be amazing.
Okay, great. So, Rahulji, this is my final question to you. If you could mention three things in a business that you need help with, what would they be?
As I mentioned earlier, I mean, there are a lot of things we need help with, and a lot of things we can actually do. I'll point out three. So we wish to again collaborate with a lot of local artists. If people, a lot of artists, if they know us, they'll collaborate with us because again we co-create things. with their help. So if we get a lot of artists on board, that would be an amazing thing for us. Second, also, we wish to go not just for our physical studio, but we wish to collaborate with industry, tourism industry, and do uh, this had already been in our plans. But if people see this and they wish, then we wish to collaborate with tourism industry and take our paintings on a different level, that we go live to probably Everest or Mount Fishtail, and we paint live, with people who really wish to paint. We have international artists who go, we fly them up and set up a studio out there and just paint like something very live. So that's another thing we wish to, if we can get help with those things. And the last one, I would say, we would like, let's say, if you get more collaboration in terms of physical studio itself. We just have our studio at the moment. Our people wish to collaborate, and we wish to have more studios. That would be amazing.
That's great. And one of the one of the greatest things about doing these interviews for me is every time I have a guest on board, I've heard them talk about co-creation, and that is very important that we talk about co-creation in any industry, because every time talking about competition and talking about who gets the more sales, who gets the most market share, instead of doing that, instead of co-creating, I think it can be beneficial for all the players in the market. And you have brought that point as well. And I wish you all the best for the things you just mentioned right now, and I wish you all the best for the future as well. So thank you, Rahulji. Thank you for coming on board and sharing your
Thank you so much,
insights in
Suraj.
this
Thank you
interview
so much.
series. And thank you to everyone who joined us for this session. If you have any questions for Rahulji, or you want to get in contact with him, you can find his contact in the description, or you can leave a comment in this video. I invite you to like this video, share it with your friends, and follow our page on the NYF Kathmandu chapter Facebook page. A recording of this video will be present in the AlterContacts YouTube channel, so please subscribe to our channel. There are playlists of videos where entrepreneurs and small business owners from different parts of the world have shared us their insights. We'll have many more interviews like this in the upcoming weeks. Stay tuned, and goodbye.